Michael, obviously we spoke on Saturday after the game. Obviously, it was very fresh, 4 defeats in a row. How are you feeling since then, and with the challenge ahead and what you guys got to face?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I felt for the boys after the game. I said that to you. I think they put a lot into the game and didn't get anything out of it, and I felt for them for the effort and the way they went about it, really, and especially in the second half, chasing the game. So we were disappointed after the game. You know, we wanted to win the game. We knew it was an important game. But yeah, we're good. We're moved on. You know, we got to get on with it. There's ups and downs in football and sport. There's you got to accept it, and you got to move on, and you got to attack the next challenge. And it's all we can do. You know, we got to stick together. We got to help each other, and we got to look forward to what's ahead. There's no other way around it.
I know obviously there is a lot of ups and downs in the Championship, and we see that. But I think we've not really seen one of your sides go sort of 4 games, 4 defeats in a row like that. And I think that was why it was so surprising. How have you felt about that? Have you had to do a lot of sort of lifting of the players these last couple of days?
I think there's a natural feeling of wanting to do better and needing to do better, and that's from all of us, you know. And I think there's it tells you a lot about somebody when you're going through a time when you're tested and it's not going to plan, and individually and if anything even more so as a group and as a club, and it really shows your character, and the boys are in it, they're living it, and there's no getting away from it, and they're fully committed to it, and I can see that and I can feel that, and that gives me a really good feeling of moving forward, you know. And it could be very different. We could have a different feeling around the place, but there's huge motivation. I can feel that there's huge motivation to get things back on track, and we're definitely capable of doing it and doing it soon.
You mentioned about being capable. It feels like you've got the players. Like, it feels like you've got a decent squad. It just feels like there's maybe a number of players out of form at the moment. But if you can get them firing, it feels like you can be up there knocking at the door.
Yeah, 100%. And perspective, not always easy to get into the right place, but perspective on things is important, especially for me, and understanding what's needed, what's going to help us, what in terms of overthinking it, overanalyzing it, overplaying it, sometimes doesn't help either, you know. And I think we still got a hell of an opportunity in front of us, and we got to take the moment that we're in. We got to suck it up, but we got to get on with it, and we got to use that as the fire really moving forward. And we got good players, you know. We got really good players, and we got what I feel is a really good squad as well. So. Again, I've sat here in the last week or 2 weeks and said similar things, and I've not changed. I've got huge belief in the boys, and I feel like we get it right. And when we get it right, we'll be all right.
From a personal point of view, have you had to do like any soul searching the last few days and trying?
It's a bit strong, soul searching. Nah, listen, it's football, you know. It's a sport, and put things in perspective. There's people a lot worse off than what I am sitting here. So that doesn't finish me off by any stretch, you know. It's from a professional point of view, there's a huge amount of pride there, and there's a huge drive inside to be successful, best I can be, to then help others be better. And but again, let's keep things in perspective. I've done that this week. We're prepared well for the game. The boys are ready to go again.
And you and the owner have obviously got a close relationship anyway, but have you had any sort of talks about your future this week and sort of where you take it from here?
Doesn't change. You know, with Kieran, with Neil, with Steve, got a really good relationship. All we talk, we understand the club, where we've been, where we've come from, where we're trying to get to. Listen, I don't. I'm a grown man. I feel like I'm strong enough to accept the situation. I understand it, you know. I'm not stupid, and that's part of being at this level. You've got responsibility, so I take that head on. There's no issue with that. In terms of levels of support, I've felt it since the day I've came here, all the way through, and it's up to me to keep getting the results and to put things into place so we can be successful as a team, you know. And that won't change personal relationship with anyone at the club. We're still giving everything we can to put things right, and we're not far away.
Yeah. And that level of support that you're talking about there, I remember when you took over, like you chose Middlesbrough, you had other options because you said it felt like the right fit, and you felt that you would get that support. So do you feel like that's kind of coming true now?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Listen, I understand it's we're not at the end of the world here either. You know, we've lost a few football matches, and if we lost a few football matches with a team that was really struggling and didn't look like we could get another result, different story. We got a good team, we got good players, and we got a stable club, and you know, it's there for us. It's there for us to make the most out of.
And when you look at the table as well, yes, you've lost 4 in a row, but you're only 4 points off the playoffs with that game in hand, and it's amazing how quickly it can turn if you get a few wins.
It's perspective again of where we are in the situation, and we wanted at certain points we wanted to be higher up the league. We wanted to be challenging for maybe something a little bit closer towards the top, but if it's playoffs we're talking about, you know, to get in the playoffs, there's 4 spots there, and we're right in touch. 14 games is an awful lot of football. Talking about whatever relegation run-ins or title battles or run-ins and championship, you know, it doesn't start until after now a lot of the time, and that's where we feel ourselves weak. On the flip side, if we were 4 points off the top of the league and you were looking to win a league and challenging for a title, you'd fancy your chances. We're 4 points off the playoffs. We want to get into the playoffs. We fancy our chances. Simple as that.
Thank you.
Michael, obviously you're a winner as a player. How frustrating, how much pressure is you putting on yourself now to turn things around here?
Nah, it's not about putting pressure on myself. I think it's doing what we believe in, you know, and committing to that, and working hard, you know. It's all I know. It's all I've known all the way through my life, and to get something out, you've got to put an awful lot in, and it's a lot of the time it's simple things, you know, and we can complicate the game, we can make it, put a lot of things into reasons about results. It's working hard, it's dedicating, it's believing and working for each other, and yeah, it's just simple as that at times, and small things need to go our way. We need to make them go our way, and we can flip it quite quickly.
How do you start winning football matches then? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's sport, you know. Things happen. I think, how do we do it? I've said it about 6 times. We got good players. We got good players in a good squad, and we've won plenty of games before, and we'll win plenty of games again. Bristol
City, what's the biggest challenge there?
Yeah, Liam's organised them very well. They've got a good team, pretty consistent. I've known him. I've done my pro licence with him a few years back, and really impressive as a coach. So it's we haven't had great results there since I've been here, but that doesn't mean we can't try and change that and do something about that. But yeah, it'll be a tough game, you know, Friday night, and they'll obviously be ready for it. They're around us in the league and challenging and wanting similar things. So yeah, it'll be a good game.
Thanks, Will.
Hi, Michael. Obviously, Watford weren't themselves in necessarily great form coming into Saturday's match. Did it feel because of that maybe it was a little bit of an opportunity missed there?
No, I think every game's a game, you know, and every game's an opportunity anyway. So it's not like we've missed one more than we would have missed one against anybody else on any other given day. I think it was what it was, you know. We didn't get that result. We got to move on. We're searching for that next win, and wherever that comes from, as we would have been really if whatever run we had been on, we go into the next game hoping, expecting, trying, believing that we can win. So that doesn't change really, just because it was a team that was around us that we didn't get the points from.
And do you understand where some of the fans are coming from, just in terms of their frustration at the lack of results recently?
Yeah, I've just said it, you know, it's pretty obvious, you know, and there's no hiding from it. It's the reality, and it's the nature of football, you know. And if we're all just in good spirits and believed and confident and positive just when you're winning all the time, then you ain't going to get very far, because football's not like that and sport's not like that. So it's times like these where it really matters, you know, and yeah, we got to get on with it. It's simple as that. There's no other way.
And is there any kind of sort of, is it psychologically difficult, the fact that you've kind of slipped down and outside the top 10 or anything like that, or is that not really necessarily too much of a focus?
No, I think it's I think when you're looking at it from the team and individual's point of view, a lot of it's on performance and getting the best out of ourselves, whether that's me, the coaches, the players. You look at that really, and the bigger picture takes care of itself in the end, whatever run you go on. But it's more of level of performance, what we know what we can do, how do we get to that, and get past that and keep getting hitting different levels really, and enable us to win games. So it's and again it keeps putting things in perspective and keeping a lid on things and managing it and being quite calm about it in certain ways as well, and keeping that belief in that confidence in each other. I certainly feel that. It's a long way to go yet.
And is that kind of part of the message to the players as well about, you know, keeping things in perspective?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's not as simple, and it's not an easy thing to always do. You know, there's a lot of input. There's a lot of things that goes into your mind at times to influence it. Some positive and negative, and so a lot of voices in different ways, and that's part of managing. That's part of sport as well, and keeping your mind and your head in the right place to enable you to perform. Sometimes it comes easier when you're winning, sometimes it's a bit more challenging when you're not, but it doesn't really change of what you need to do to try and win the next game.
And in terms of change, is there anything that you'll think about just changing tactically at all, or any change of players that you're looking at to try and sort of bring more positive results about?
Yeah, again, I think you can overchange, you can overchase, you can become desperate, and desperate's not really a great place to be coming from. I think there's a real keenness to do well and to win, but and you can be desperate to win, but you're lacking overflow, and you can end up making bad decisions and doing things that you shouldn't really be doing. So there's a right balance there for us. Small tweaks and changes, yeah, of course, happens every week. Always searching for that kind of optimum performance and chance to win. So that doesn't really change too much. Just belief and keep doing what we're doing, and if anything, that double down on what we're good at and make the most of that.
Brilliant, thanks very much.
You've spoken now a lot about perspective, Michael, but also you know the game, you've been in it long enough, and you know that time isn't something that managers are often afforded in the modern game, particularly after Watford. Were there any kind of thoughts or fears, worries that it might be the end of the time here?
No, not really. It's not something I think about in that manner. It's what's the point? What's the point? Not going to get me anywhere. It's never anything that I've done as a past in the past professionally anyway. I think it's what can I do today, tomorrow to be better for the next game. Really, that's the ultimate. That's my responsibility. And if I'm starting to think about other things, that's my head's gone. Then you're finished. It's not how I approach things, and it's definitely not how I've not changed this week.
Yeah, and we've spoken a lot about the support from Steve and other people at the club. I mean, it was made pretty clear that they were backing you and they believe in you to turn this around a bit. How important is that for you that you have that backing, but also for that clarity to be out there as well?
Honestly, for me personally, it's it doesn't change what I do. It's I don't need that. That sympathy from anybody. I don't look for that. I look for myself to get on with it, and I feel the support. I'm not downplaying the support. I felt that, but it doesn't change this week for me to all of a sudden it flips. Or anyway, I think I felt that all the time, but I understand the situation. I've said it without repeating myself. I get where it's at. It doesn't change my mood or my how I go about my work or needing reassurances off anybody. Honestly, for me, it's pretty pathetic. I'm a head coach of a fantastic football club. I don't need someone else to tell me you'll be all right. I think I am here where I am for a reason, and I fully believe in what we're doing, and I fully believe in the group. So I'm still really excited about what's possible this season, and I understand the disappointment and being a bit downbeat. I get it. I totally get it, and I understand the situation. But 14 games to go and a lot to play for. That's where I'm focusing on 100%.
Yeah, and I think you've alluded to this a couple of times in the past that the way you are, kind of calm demeanour, etc., can often be kind of misinterpreted as maybe a lack of passion or a lack of care. But I think where you sit here, there's definitely care, there's definitely passion, and there's definitely a desire to, turn this around.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in this job if I didn't have that. That's all I've known. I've been fortunate enough to be in some good football clubs with some fantastic people, and to learn off that, and to be in the game a long time. And I'm in it because I love it. I'm in it to try and have some success, and I care. Listen, I see my family one day a week if I'm lucky. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't care about it, and I care about them an awful lot as well. But this is what I do, it's what I love, and it doesn't change.
Yeah. You spoke a bit about changes and kind of potentially over-analysing things, but in the past you have made tweaks. I think last season we spoke about the difficult run we went there, and for a brief period you tweaked and went to a kind of a back three, and not necessarily now saying that's the answer, but in terms of when you're looking at the recent run, when is the moment when you kind of start to think maybe something different is needed?
No, I've said it before. There's always something where you're looking, we might have to change certain things, and it's week to week things change, and we try and adapt and play in slightly different ways. So that's nothing really new. I think I understand why you asked the question, because we need the next result, but by going for the next result doesn't necessarily mean big drastic change. I think we I just said it before. We're good at certain things. We need to be focusing on that and doubling down on what we're really good at. And there's a reason we're a good team, and we've proved we can be a good team is because we're good at certain things. So we need to concentrate on our strengths and keep improving them as much as anything else as well.
Yeah, and on that, after Saturday you mentioned that confidence had kind of naturally taken a hit, as it would with results as they are. I mean, do you do anything different during the week, whether that's on the training pitches or off them, to kind of try and rebuild that?
Yeah, listen, there's different ways in it, and it works in many different ways. Confidence in your mindset and flipping it, and it can come back just as quickly as you maybe lose it and you take a bit of a hit. And it can be one moment. It can be one moment in the game. It can be one game. It can flip so quickly, and you got to keep giving yourself the best chance, really, and doing things what are classed as simple things. Not easy to keep doing, but you got to do the simple things as well as you possibly can. Definitely work as hard as you possibly can, and things fall into place, and before you know it, you're off and running again, and you've forgotten about them feelings that maybe you had at certain points in the season. And that's how you get the flow of momentum at times. And when you've got the wave, you've got to ride it, and we're looking for that next one.
Just final one from me. It's not necessarily something I believe, but one thing I'm constantly asked by fans, one thing constantly bring up with me is the coaching team here, and obviously between yourself and the others, it is a relatively young coaching team now. Experience is often used, but I guess there's different experiences and different times coaching on all the team. But fans will often say, does he need a more experienced head, a bit of grey hair, if you like, in the coaching team? In terms of answering that, or kind of explaining why your coaching team works as it does, what would you say to that?
Listen, I think we've lost some games, right? Everything's not wrong. Let's put things in perspective. We've played fantastic at times this season, and had some good results and had some good run of games. We've lost some games. I understand where questions are coming from. We got good coaches. I've got fantastic backroom staff. I'm delighted with the staff we've got. So yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, but just on that, because in terms of people will say bringing the experience, bringing it overhead, but I guess in some ways is it age is irrelevant. It's the dynamics of how a group works together. Yeah,
definitely. I think age doesn't come into it. I think it's experience is that, and I feel we've got a lot of experience within that in various ways, different styles, different personalities within that we all gel together. So yeah, it's the same as the group of players, and it's the same of the dynamic, and let's be calm about things, and clambering for change, clambering for different things is not always the answer. We know what we're good at, we know what we're good at as staff. The players know and feel what they're good at. Got to keep doubling down on that and keep that belief.
Just one on the back of that, Michael, the experience. I'm not going to ask about Sir Alex, because I know you've been asked that once or twice, but clearly you've got loads of contacts in the game. During these tough spells, have you reached out to anyone? Do you speak to people outside for maybe an external view?
I've not overplayed the whole situation, to be honest. I think we know what job we got here, know what job I got, and know what help I need to give the players. I always speak to certain people without mentioning any names as casual conversations, but I understand why this is highlighted, and I totally get it. But for me, working, I'm pretty clear what we need to do, and to kind of a version of turning things around, what needs turned around, So I'm not making a bigger deal of it than it needs to for me.
And just one more on this week. Did you speak to Steve directly after Saturday? And if so, can you give kind of any indication of what was said?
Yeah, I speak to Steve as I speak to him quite a lot, and Neil and Kieran, and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed for me, really. As I said, I don't need any special conversations at certain times. I don't need pulled down when we're winning and told to calm down and don't get carried away with it. I don't need someone overly backing me in that sympathetic kind of patronising way. Maybe I don't feel it, I don't need it, but the support is as I said, I've felt it all the time, and it's there for me, and I really, really appreciate it. It's a fantastic club. Steve's an unbelievable owner, and I felt it doesn't. What my main point is, just for this week, I haven't felt a need for any change whatsoever.
You've talked a lot about balance and attack defence balance, and last week you were saying it was, you're willing to tweak, you're willing to make alterations, which obviously you did on Saturday, and you told us afterwards you kind of thinking of stability by putting the extra man in midfield, but obviously that didn't go to plan on Saturday. Is that still ongoing? Is that still really a priority to crack that, to spark improvement?
Everything's ongoing, of finding the right balance constantly, and that's just the decision. That's my role, that's my responsibility. Some will go to plan, some will look like they've gone to plan, and everyone says that was fantastic, and deep down I'm thinking didn't really go to plan, but we got away with it. Sometimes you make a decision, and I can be quite happy the way things and what that looked like, but you might not get the result. I'm not saying that was from last week specifically. That's not always the decision's always clear. Is it one player's in, one player's out, and that's the reason why it's everything's been one way or the other. And again, there's certain things we've got to improve. There's no doubt. There's certain things we've got to improve, but we've got players to be flexible and to tweak things at certain times if we need to.
And I know the confidence thing that you talked there about with Craig. Like we've talked in the past about Chuba and Manu when they were flying, and you say about you just go on the pitch and expect to score, and it all comes easy. How difficult is it when the boot's on the other foot, and what do you do? Because I guess you're managing men rather than footballers, and I know you always are, but you know what I mean when in that situation. So how do you address that?
Yeah, there's a balance, It depends on what's going on, what the reasons are. Is it a skill thing? Is it an effort thing? It depends what it is, and depends how our reaction is as coaches and as managers. But ultimately, there to give the lads the utmost support and to help them. And there is times when it goes for you and it becomes easy. There's times when it doesn't, and that's when the role of me and my staff become ever so more important.
Just the January signings, how are they? It must be tough for them when they come in when things aren't going to plan for the team. So how?
Yeah, it's been a challenge, but in a way where it's actually quite really positive for me, and the way the boys have dealt with it. It would be easy coming into a situation where we've ended up losing the games, and they came here to have eyes on being successful, and I can't tell you how well they've settled in, and their attitude to invest themselves within the group, and that's not easy. I've seen it before. It's easy to be distant, and it's easy to be thinking, what this is not what I signed up for. That's couldn't be any further away. So in terms of the characters and the personalities and the professionalism of the boys coming in, being top class. So and they're good players, and they'll be fine once they settle in, and we'll be fine as a club. We've just got to get to there, find that next win, and move on from there.
I was going to say that clearly the lads you brought in are all hugely talented. They just need to get settled position, running the team, and hopefully see the best of them in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, that's it. We've assembled the squad. We've brought what we feel really good players into the group. We're adding to what we already had. So the boys will be fine. They're giving everything at the moment, and they'll be fine.
And just a couple more. Delano Bergzorg probably been your best player in the last few weeks. I think it's fair to say the decision to leave him out on Saturday felt harsh. Is that fair?
I think we always make decisions. I think that's just part of it. Whether sometimes it's tactically, sometimes it's certain things in games that we want to do a little bit better. It's just one of those decisions that I've got to make.
You must be pleased with that, obviously, because at the start of the season he wasn't necessarily a nailed-on starter, and there's such competition in those areas of the pitch. You must be delighted with him individually and how he's...
Yeah, I think that has improved an awful lot since he's been here, and positionally and with his understanding of what we want, what we expect from him in the role, and I think it's quite clear as the season's gone that he's improved an awful lot, and he's an important player for us. Yeah, it's just, as we got some good players across that front line, and we can make the most of that.
And Indus Valley injuries, is Dale fine for Friday?
Yeah, Dale's back. He's back. Yeah, he was just ill. He had gone sick. Yeah, but he's back. Yeah.
And Ben, any closer, Riley?
They're closer. Yeah, but they won't be involved now.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Michael, do you still? I know you spoke there of your confidence. Can you still sense a feeling of belief from the staff around the training ground at the stadium, so you players, that Middlesbrough can be a Premier League club next season?
Yeah, I think let's not get too carried away in terms of where we're looking at. That's what we're trying to achieve, definitely. But part of the question was about that confidence and belief, and I've said it a couple of times. But when you're going through a little spell like this, you really see what people are like and how they react. And I have to say, the place has come together as strong as you could possibly ask for. Players, staff, everything, backroom staff. And it's really good to see. Not for me on a personal level. I'm irrelevant. It's more about as the whole group, and sticking together, and then almost drives you on even more, motivates you even more, and brings you together, which is great to see.
And just final one from me. Obviously, you've achieved a lot in your playing career, but if you could lead Middlesbrough to promotion, given recent results, turn it round, would that be the greatest achievement of your career?
Yeah, you get Premier League and promotion. I was losing my job before, so it's a bit of a. That's how I like the perspective's great, isn't it? It just shows you what's possible. The fact that you're asking me that question, it means that's where we are. And I said it about 4 points off the top of the league. You'd be hoping to win the league. 4 points off the playoffs. We're hoping to get in the playoffs. Beyond that, anything can happen. So hugely excited and positive. It's 14 games. Let's give it everything we got.